Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityaṁ bhāgavata-sevayā Bhagavati uttamashloke Bhaktir bhavati nishtaki Durlabhamanasho deho dehinam shanabhangurai Tatrapi durlabham manye Vaikuntha priyadarshinaha Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Yena Yena Avatarena Bhagavan Haririshvara Karoti Karna Ramyani Manogyani Jana Prabhu Yachinvato Pati Aratir Vishna Sattvam Cha Shudyati Achirena Pumsa Bhaktir Harau Tat Purushe Cha Sakhyam Tat Eva Haram Vadamanyase Chet Hare Kṛṣṇa Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear worshipable devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Srimad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 7, which is entitled The Killing of the Demon Trinavrata. But this chapter also includes the killing of the demon Sakatasura, which will be the focus for the first 16-17 verses. We read till yesterday, till text number 5, which sets the background of this story. Primarily, it talks about the eagerness of Srila Parikshit Maharaj to hear about Krishna Katha, the benefits of hearing Krishna Katha, especially hearing about the Katha of Krishna's beautiful childhood pastimes. And also, I was hearing a class by ISKCON Prabhu, so I want to share a few points from Putana also, since we already have covered in the last chapter. So, but Prabhuji mentioned a few very interesting points which I really liked, so hope you will relish them too. Putana, we discussed, represents false guru, pseudo guru. Prabhuji mentioned there are two types of Putana. One is the Putana within, and one is the Putana without, outside. The Putana within, what is that false guru within? It is the conditioned mind. The conditioned mind tries to trick us, tries to give us different proposals to keep bhakti aside and other things forward. Different ideas, or the word Prabhu used was mental greed. Like sometimes one could have a nice meal, lunch, and someone say, hey, do you want crackjack biscuit? And you say, okay, I'll take crackjack. There is no need for the body, but still the mind is so used to that conditioning. Similarly, one could procrastinate bhakti, one could not put bhakti in priority. The mind will try to trick, hey, you need this, you need big house, you need a big car, you need this to be happy, right? You don't need Krishna consciousness. False guru, trying to trick us, trying to get us away from Krishna. That was Putana. So we have to be very careful of this mental mind. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur mentioned every day when we get up, we should beat the mind with broomstick, and every night with the chappal. We can alternate also. An external pseudo guru, we all have discussed that. Those people who say, hey, you are God, or I am God, worship me as God, or I am God. or if you worship me, you will become God, or these days so many Babas, so many so-called motivational speakers, so many people worship them as God. Yata mat tata pat, or they say bhog se samadhi, sambhog se samadhi. Self-concocted ways, not following Guru Sadhu Shastra. They don't talk about Bhagavad Gita. They don't talk about Bhagavatam. So we have to be very careful. So the two types of Putana. Now back to this chapter 7. We discuss about the glories of hearing Krishna Katha and Shukdev Goswami. This is a festival going on. What festival is going on? Utthana ceremony is going on. Krishna is about 3 months and he is turning sides, or karvat badalna in Hindi we say. And here, if you remember the previous few chapters, we read Nandotsav. But this is more like a Yashoda Utsav. Why? Because the women are taking lead in this festival. So in the Vedic culture, we see that at different times, different people take lead. In some festivals, even in marriage ceremony, there are certain occasions when it's primarily like women are, coordinating, singing, etc. And there are certain occasions where men are taking leads. There are certain occasions children are taking leads. It's a very nice Vedic culture, and it can be applicable in today's setting also. So we read that they were nicely singing, they were nicely, making different kind of preparations, serving brahmanas, etc. So we have covered all that, and we will now move to the next verse, which is text number 6. So let's see who would like to read this text. Because we didn't get chance yesterday, they can read first. Yes, Vipul Bro, you want to read?
Sure, Guruji. Hare Kṛṣṇa devotees, Dhanava Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada. Text 6. Sorry. Attain Kotashaka Manashvini Samagatan Pujayati Brajoksha Noibashanat Bhairudintam Shutasya Sha Rudan Stanatri Charnavo Udakshipat. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Srila Bhagavatam Joy. Translation. The little mother Jashoda, absorbed in celebrating the Utthana ceremony, was busy receiving guests, worshipping them with all respect, and offering them clothing, cows, garlands, and grains. Thus she could not hear the child crying for his mother. At that time, the child Krishna, demanding to drink the milk of his mother's breast, angrily threw his legs upward. Purport. Krishna had been placed underneath a household handcart, but this handcart was actually another form of Sakatasura, a demon who had come there to kill the child. Now, on the plea of demanding to suck his mother's breast, Krishna took this opportunity to kill the demon. Thus, he kicked Sakatasura just to expose him. Although Krishna's mother was engaged in receiving guests, Lord Krishna wanted to draw her attention by killing the Sakatasura, and therefore he kicked the cart-shaped demon. Such are the pastimes of Krishna. Krishna wanted to draw the attention of his mother, but while doing so, he created a great havoc, not understandable by ordinary persons. These narrations are wonderfully enjoyable, and those who are fortunate are struck with wonder upon hearing of these extraordinary activities of the Lord. Although the less intelligent regard them as mythological because a dull brain cannot understand them, they are real facts. These narrations are actually so enjoyable and enlightening that Maharaj Parikshit and Shukdev Goswami took pleasure in them, and other liberated persons following in their footsteps become fully jubilant by hearing about the wonderful activities of the Lord. So here the nice pastimes of the Lord, who killed Sakatasura in the form of a cart, and that way baby Krishna was trying to get attention of his mother because he wants to drink milk. So to understand Krishna and his pastimes and to relish them, we have to be a devotee as simple and has faith and devotions, and a simple mind can relish these pastimes. People who have a lot of complications and already had dirty minds or engaged with metal activities, they cannot understand these great narrations and great pastimes of the Lord, and they don't get enjoy on this type of pastimes. But we see that great sadhus, great mahatmas, and like Śrī Goswami and other parampara, they are narrating those pastimes and get absorbed in those pastimes. Back to Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So, Krishna is sleeping under this cart or Shakata. Shakata also is meaning cart. And therefore, the story is about Sakatasura. So Shakata means it's cart. And in Vrindavan, there is a place called Chatikara. As we enter, we take the national highway from Delhi to Vrindavan, and then we have to turn left. Just before we turn, just that place where the T point is, that place is basically Chatikara. So comes from this same this demon pastime happened there. Now there's a very nice lesson here that one should not get so absorbed in life. Of course, Mata Yashoda was absorbed in serving the guests and taking care of the brahmanas and other things. But the lesson the acharyas are giving, that one should not become so absorbed in other aspects of life that one forgets the call of the Lord. Krishna is crying for the milk, crying for the love of his devotee. And Mata Yashoda could not hear it because she was busy, right? Mata Yashoda is an eternal associate of the Lord, of course, but the point is that the jivas often become entangled, busy in social life, work life, family life, kids life, job life, this life, that life, home, car, business, this, that. Then Krishna is calling. Krishna is calling, when will my child come? When will my child come to me? I need my devotee to meet his attention. But we cannot hear that call of the Lord because of our own complications, our own entanglement. So, in short, one should not be too entangled. Therefore, keep it simple. Yes, we have to do our job, business, and all those things, but at no cost, bhakti should be compromised. At no cost. So that means bhakti should not be compromised. Because all the other aspects of life are there to support bhakti. If because of the other aspects of life, bhakti is getting sacrificed, then something needs to be altered in life. A devotee molds his or her life to practice Krishna consciousness seriously. That's Krishna consciousness. And takes great pleasure. So enjoyable. Swadu swadu pade pade. Susukham kartum avgayam. Very happy, very jubilant. Avajananti mamura. The fools cannot understand this. But devotees take great pleasure. Shukdev Goswami is taking great pleasure in speaking. Parikshit Maharaj is taking great pleasure in hearing. And because this is so nectarian. This is karoti karna ramyani. This is very, very nectarian, very, very pleasing to the ears. Manogyani, gyani na cha prabhu, cha na prabhu, and very, very pleasing to the mind and the senses. So, Mata Yashoda is busy. And then before that, she also told the small kids, hey, you'll keep an eye on little Krishna. And no. But don't disturb him. Other kids were also there, Balramji, etc. But don't disturb my child as a mother. So because they were playing, Shakata was outside. So in Krishna, anger, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Kama, Esha, Krodha, Esha, Rajaguna Samadbhava, Mahashana Mahapapma, Vidyenam Ihaverina. Trividham narakasya dharam nashramatmana kama krodhas tatha lobhas tasmadetam trayam tajit. Multiple lectures he gives about anger, but here he is getting angry. Of course, his anger is not like our anger. His anger is also transcendental. So in anger, what is he doing? He is throwing his legs upward. Krishna is throwing his legs upward. Let's see a few pictures. If I can share a few pictures about this beautiful pastime. Okay, so yeah, so this was the kind of the setting before the Mata Yashoda kept Krishna on the, and we see a lot of people have come with different articles, with different preparations. So a festival is going on. And then later, Krishna was peacefully sleeping. But yes, he wanted Mata's love in the form of milk. So, and he started to throw his legs up. And then we will see in the next verse what happens ahead. Let's move on to text number 7. Yeah. Who would like to read?
I'll try, Prabhuji.
Please.
Ada sayanasya sisor anol alpaka pravalamarthav angrihatam vyavartata vidvastanana rasakupya bhajanam Vyatyastya chakraksa vibhinna kubaram. Hare Kṛṣṇa. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Prabhupada Ki Jai. Lord Sri Krishna was lying down underneath the hand cart. Prabhuji, if you can scroll a little bit. Yeah, thank you. Lord Krishna was lying down underneath the hand cart in one corner of the courtyard, and although his little legs were as soft as leaves, when he struck the cart with his legs, it turned over violently and collapsed. The wheels separated from the axle, and hubs and spokes fell apart, and the pole of the hand cart broke. On the cart, there were many little utensils made of various metals, and all of them scattered hither and Thither. Okay, here and there problem. Purport Srila Viswanatha Chakravarti Thakur has commented on this on a little bit. Yeah, thank you. On this verse as follows: when Lord Krishna was of a very tender age, his hands and legs resembled soft new leaves, yet simply by touching the hand cart with his legs, he made the cart fall to pieces. It was quite possible for him to act in this way and yet not exert himself very much. The Lord in his Vamana Avatara had to extend his foot to the greatest height to penetrate the covering of the universe. And when the Lord killed the gigantic demon Hiranyakasipu, he had to assume the special body feature of Nrisimhadeva. But in his Krishna Avatara, the Lord did not need to exert such energy. Therefore, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In other incarnations, the Lord had to exert some energy according to the time of circumstances. But in this form, he exhibited ultimately unlimited potency. Thus, the hand cart collapsed, its joints broken, and all the metal pots and utensils scattered. The Vaishnava Tosani remarks that although the hand cart was higher than the child could easily touch the wheel of the cart and thus was sufficient to send the demon down to the earth. The Lord simultaneously pushed the demon to the earth and superficially broke the hand cart. Hare Kṛṣṇa. I think in this verse we are it's more clearly mentioned that how strong or the Lord is trying to, in this form of Krishna, though he is as a small child, he's able to just with the touch of his feet to the cart broke completely, and the demon on the cart rolled down to earth. And Prabhupada was comparing against two other forms in incarnations of Lord Krishna, Vamana Deva and Nrisimha Deva, where Lord had to put some energy towards the avatars. But here in Krishna's form, Lord need not put much of an energy in a small baby itself. He has a lot. He's showing a lot of energy within him. He doesn't have to put more energy. That's what Prabhupada is explaining. Prabhuji, Hare Kṛṣṇa, back to you.
Hare Kṛṣṇa, thank you so much, Mataji. So there are multiple points in this verse. Now, the first point may come that Krishna is so small, 3 months old baby. Now his legs are also small, right? So let's do a drawing. Just imagine like this. The cart wheels were big. The cart wheels were quite big in size. And the axle connected to the other wheel same way. This is the rear wheel. Imagine it's connected to the axle. And this is the platform connected somehow to the pin. And little Krishna was sleeping. Mata Yashoda made a cot like this. And a cot was made for the baby. So Krishna was sleeping in here. Underneath this cot. Okay, sorry for my drawing, but just to help us understand. Now the baby is here. Baby Krishna, little baby is sleeping. The legs are small, hands are small. Then even if he moves his legs up, how could he reach the floor or the ceiling of the cot? In the Garga Samhita, it is explained that this cot was actually sinking down. So cot was sinking down means the platform earth is the base level. This is earth, right? The cot initially was at the earth level, but gradually half of the wheels, right, now had submerged in the earth. So that means the cart was a demon who was trying to kill Krishna by pushing the cart down and down and down. So half of the tire, half of the wheel, the cart wheel was in the earth. So that means that platform also got lowered. And as soon as Krishna touched, so then his little legs, his body is softer than the softest for the devotees, but harder than the hardest for the non-devotees. So those little soft legs, when his little toes touched the cart, there was a big sound like imagine like hundreds of or tens of heavy utensils, brass, copper utensils kept in blah 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 blah, everything falling because all those things were kept on the cart, and they all started to go hither and thither. Such beautiful paintings are also there. The axle broke, all the cart was dismantled, and this demon Sakatasura was buried under the cart or by the weight of all the utensils, those heavy utensils. I mean, they were heavy. Sometimes these heavy utensils could be, it's hard even to lift the empty utensils, what to speak of. The handcart broke, the spokes fell apart, the pole of the handcart broke, everything was practically dismantled. Everything hither and thither. And they were quite heavy, a lot of load was kept on those utensils as on that cart as well. Beautiful little painting. Baby Krishna's kick. And Krishna touched, not even kicked. As soon as he touched, another painting, this beautiful, showing the same thing, that so much load was there on the cart, and that Krishna's touch, just he was 3-month-old baby, dismantled all those things. And beautiful painting showing. So all these paintings show the same point. Now, it is also mentioned that who was this Sakatasura in his previous life. So very, very important lesson here. So Sakatasura in his previous life was a demon named Utkacha. Utkacha was the son of Hiranyaksha. And being the son of a great king, and not a great king, like a great demon, demoniac king, very proud, very, very proud of his big body. He had a very big body, like the Sakatasura, having, and often anything big one has, one becomes proud. Whether it's a big job, whether it's a big car, whether it's a big house, whether it's a big, academic, some degrees, or anything, or even I am illiterate, but my child is very big. It could be my big family, or my child is so powerful. Oh, he is in the Guinness Book of World Records. Big. One naturally becomes proud of something big. And he had a big body, big muscles, very powerful body, and one becomes proud of. So he went to the ashram of Lomas Rishi and was very proud of his body. Hey, I'm very handsome. I'm Mr. World and this and that. And he also had other women along with him, quite similar to Nalkuvir and Manigrave's story, who were trying to join the Mandaki river. And they ignored the great sage Narada Muni. Similarly, this Lomas Rishi saw that this person is so attached to his body, his big body, and his big muscles, trying to impress women. Why do people want a nice body? 99% want to impress the opposite sex. Very simple. Big muscles, big facial makeups, artificial beauty industry, and this industry, that. It's all to impress the opposite sex. They sound a little harsh, but that's the truth. Ultimately, no matter one is Mr. World or Miss World, the beauty does not stay forever. No matter how big muscles one has, it does not stay. In my college, I used to remember that people used to go, college people are very passionate, young blood in their early 20s or late, like 17, 18, 19 years, like a youth time. Everyone wants to impress opposite sex. Everyone wants to have a nice body. So one of my spiritual mentors, I was also in that first year in college. I was also had a big poster of a wrestler in my room before coming to Krishna consciousness. WWE. And the ISKCON devotee, Prabhuji, my mentor, came and he said, "Baba, what is this?" I said, "Prabhuji, I like to watch WWE and maybe I want to become like him." And he said, "What? No." So he was like taken aback first. So, but and then he explained that at that time intelligence does not work rationally because of so much peer pressure and all those things. So one just wants to do what everyone is doing, kind of flowing with the flow. And he said a very nice line, which I always remember. He said like 15 years back, when I was in college, 2007, 8. That no matter how big one body one has, kitna bhi muscle ho, whether it's 10 inches or 20 inches or 30 inches, all it would take was two more woods to burn. When the body dies, a person with a very big body or big bicep or big tricep and big chest will only take 2 extra woods to burn. Nothing else will matter. Mike Tyson used to very, very powerful world heavyweight boxing champion. He was so proud of his big body, big strength. For God, bhāgavata-sevayā chaham. Krishna is the strength among the strong. One forgets that. Ahankara vimūಢātma kartaham iti manyate. I am the doer. I am the champion. I am the strongest. I am no one better than me. So later he said, I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest, he used to say. And then later, he developed Parkinson, could not even lift his own hand to grab a cup of water to take in the mouth. And then later he said, I am the greatest fool. His own words. So the point is, this Utkacha was very, very proud of his body, trying to impress women, trying to show off and all that stuff. Lomas Rishi cursed, you're so proud of your body, you will become a ghost. No body. You will become bodiless. And of course, great souls don't want to curse anyone. Their curse is a blessing, similar to Narad Muni's story. When he cursed Nalkuir and Manigriva, they were also proud of their body. They became trees. In this case, Utkacha became a ghost. In ghost, he took the body in the air. But later he was given a benediction when he begged for forgiveness. Oh, great sage, please forgive me. He said, when Krishna in Vavaswat Manu, when he will come, he will deliver you by his touch. So this was Utkacha in the previous life as the son of Hiranyaksha. Big baggage. And then everything was hither. Another lesson here is Krishna is thinking that in those pots were different kinds of things like Gorasa. Gorasa has two meanings. Gorasa means milk, and Go also means indriyas or senses, the pleasure of the senses. So the Gorasa was kept on top of Krishna, right? Again, going back to that picture, just imagine here, there were a lot of pots, and in those pots were kept different kinds of articles were kept. Big pots were there, and different things were kept in those pots. Different pots, different metals, iron, steel, bronze, whatever, copper, and different things. So Krishna is here, and that Gorasa is on top. Krishna says, no, the pleasures of senses are very tuchha. They are very, very lower. I am Rasika Shekhara. I am a Rasiraj. I am the supreme source of all pleasures. Why is this Gorasa kept on top of me? Gorasa, the pleasure of the senses, is very, very tuchha. Tuchha sukham. Great souls do not take pleasures in that. Yehi sansparsha jab hoga dukkhayonev evati adi antavanta konteya na teshu ramate buddha. Great souls do not take pleasure in this. They take pleasure in Krishna Katha. So here Krishna is showing that the what's the highest pleasure is Krishna consciousness, not the pleasure of the senses. One should not be distracted by the pleasures of the senses and be attracted to the real source of all pleasure, that is Rasika Shekhara, Śrī Krishna. So this is the card demon. And of course there was a huge noise when all these pots were moving hither. Just imagine, big copper, bronze, metal, different metals, bronze pots, clay pots, etc. And the handcart broke. It must be big, right? Because all these, it's carrying such a heavy load. The carts were really big. The axles and the spoke, the wheels were very big, and everything broke. So there was a tumultuous noise, not just a noise, tumultuous noise. And the kids were around, so let's see what happens. Any thoughts or any comments before we move to the next one? Okay, we'll move to text 8, next verse. Who would like to read?
Can I read, Prabhuji? Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Yes, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. All praise to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 8. Drishtva yashoda paramukha brajastriya Authanika karmaniya samgataha nandadayash chadbhuta darsana kula katham sayambhai sakatam viprayagat. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Queen Mother Yashoda and the other ladies who had assembled for the Utthana festival and all the men headed by Nanda Maharaja saw the wonderful situation. They began to wonder how the handcart had collapsed by itself. They began to wander here and there, trying to find the cause, but were unable to do so. So here all of them, Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda, and all the people, all the men, when they're busy with the Utthana festival for preparation of that festival, and that time this handcart broke suddenly and they could not find it. Why? And Krishna actually, when he only reveals to the devotees, that time devotee can feel him or know him. And so with the Yogamaya potency, Krishna actually, all of them could not able to understand or realize that how the handcart broken. And because of the Yogamaya, they are all unaware of that only the Supreme Lord, who is the Govindam Adi Purusham, can do it. No other people, but they can't find the way. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Krishna, thank you so much, Mataji. Again, the same point is coming, that we should not get distracted in life. So many things will come, so many occasions will come. Of course, as we discussed, we're not judging Yashoda or Nanda Maharaj. We are taking lessons for the ordinary jiva, like myself, that we should not get so busy in the outside things that Krishna consciousness is compromised. We should always be on guard. Krishna says, Mam anusmari yuddhacha, remember me and fight. Or do our duties. Fighting means doing our duties, conditional duties, whether it's family, business, job. And always prioritize Krishna consciousness. Always check. Is Krishna consciousness on? Is ISKCON? Is KC on? Or is it I'm getting distracted, right? If I'm getting distracted, what I need to do to be on guard, to be aligned, what I need to do different. Instead of chanting, as Shampoo mentioned, we are chatting. Instead of chanting, we're chatting. or Krishna consciousness may take a back seat, being sometimes caught up in so many other worldly things. So when the ladies and gents and everyone came, they saw, wow, just imagine. Putana scene just happened a few weeks back. And now, in the modern day, if we say, we may not be so familiar with the cart, but like a big truck. Let's say our child is outside, and suddenly a big noise, a big truck is upside down, and there's a big noise and everything's scattered hither and thither, and the child is also lying there somewhere. Will we not be scared? Right? I'm sure everyone will be scared with the safety of the child. Is my child okay? Such a big noise, such a big heavy noise, all the axle, the wheels, everything, a big truck, and how come this extraordinary? They began to wonder. This was not a small handcart, this was a big handcart, so much load was there. So they all began wondering. Let's see the next verse, what happens. Anyone wants to read this? Yes, Devika. Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji. Hare Kṛṣṇa, everyone. Uchura avyavashita mati gopan rupischa balaka rudatani na padina shittam etana samsayaha. Translation by His Divine Grace as Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki Jai. Please go Prabhuji, I can't see. Thank you. The assembled cowherd men and ladies began to contemplate how this thing had happened. Is it the work of some demon or even planet? They asked. At that time, the small children present asserted that the cart had been kicked apart by the baby Krishna. As soon as the crying baby had kicked the cart's wheel, the cart had collapsed. There was no doubt about it. Purport. We have heard of peoples being haunted by ghosts. Having no gross material body, a ghost seeks shelter of a gross body to stay in and haunt. The Sakatasura was a ghost who had taken shelter of the handcart and was looking for the opportunity to do mischief to Krishna. When Krishna kicked the cart with his small and very delicate legs, the ghost was immediately pushed down to the earth and his shelter dismantled, as already described. This was possible for Krishna because he has full potency as confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. 532. Angani yasha sakalindriya vikimanti pashanti panti kalyanti chiram charanti ananda chinmaya sad ujjvala vigrahasya govindamadi purusam tamaham bhajami. Krishna's body is Sachidananda Vigraha, or Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Vigraha. That is, any of the parts of his Ananda Chinmaya body can act for any other part. Such are the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord does not need to acquire these potencies. He already has them. Thus, Krishna kicked his little legs and his whole purpose was, please go, Prabhuji, and his whole purpose was fulfilled. Also, when the handcart broke, an ordinary child could have been injured in many ways. But because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he enjoyed the dismantling of the cart and nothing injured him. Everything done, everything done by him is Ananda Chinmaya Ras, full transcendental bliss. Thus Krishna factually enjoyed. The nearby children saw that actually Krishna had kicked the wheel of the cart, and this was how the accident happened. By the arrangement of Yogmaya, all the gopis and gopas thought that the accident had taken place because of some bad planet or some ghost. But in fact, everything was done by Krishna and enjoyed by him. Those who enjoy the activities of Krishna are also on the platform of Ananda Chinmaya Ras. They are liberated from the material platform. When one develops the practice of hearing Krishna Katha, he is certainly transcendental to material existence, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Sargunan samatityitan brahma bhuyaha kalpati. Unless one is on the spiritual platform, one cannot enjoy the transcendental activities of Krishna. Or in other words, whoever engages in hearing the transcendental activities of Krishna is not on the material platform, but on the transcendental spiritual platform. So in this text, everyone is wondering what has happened. The children, they saw that it was only the leg of Krishna that touched the cart and everything was dismantled. All the things from the cart fell down and appeared the demon. And others were thinking that there might be a ghost. It was a ghost around. And I think that's all, Prabhuji. So many stories are there. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So the little children were right there when all this was happening. And they were trying to narrate that what happened, as we see in this picture, this beautiful picture, that Krishna was then, the cart broke, everything disassembled. So basically the cart came down on the ground and the demon was pushed by its own weight, as we see in this one, this Sakatasura demon. Anything could have happened to Krishna, right? What to speak of the cart and the big wheels, even like these metal pots, if this, just the lid of that metal pot falls on a baby, it would be so, it could be deadly, right? You all agree with that? Even the lids are so heavy of these heavy metal pots. What to speak of the metal pot itself? The lid could be like 0.5 kilogram, and then this 0.5 kilogram weight falling on the head of a 3-month-old baby can potentially, crack the, for an ordinary child, it can cause a lot of havoc. Is it not? Am I right or am I exaggerating, right? You are all.
You were right, Prabhu.
It would be
Not
much
even
injurious to the child.
Injurious.
Mhm.
Okay,
What even adults break their legs and bones, Prabhu. What to say about a child, a normal child?
Yes, and in that too, not just if a 3-month-old, 3 months are very, very young, very tender. Their body is not developed. Their everything is so fragile. But Krishna is the Supreme Lord, whether he is 1 day, whether he's in the womb, whether he's 3 months or whatever, because he's beyond these time ages. So it's not a coincidence. Oh, he was saved when Putana, miles long, when she fell down, nothing happened to Krishna. Oh, when Sakatasura happened, nothing happened to her. It's not a coincidence. In the eyes of Vrajavasis, yes, it's a coincidence. Oh, Lord Vishnu protected. Oh, our prayers, God heard our prayers. But from the perspective of the Supreme Lord, he's the one. He enjoyed Prabhupada's writing. But because Krishna is the Supreme Lord, he enjoyed dismantling the cart and nothing injured him. So beautiful. This is Krishna Katha. He likes to, kids like to break. Kids play with toys and they break toys. Kamsa Mama used to send different toys. First he sent a Barbie doll. Putana. Krishna broke the doll. And of course, these demons are all associates of each other then. Like, kids play with, boys play with cars. So, the wheel, cart wheel, Krishna broke that too. So, devotees take great pleasure. And the small children were saying, hey, Krishna kicked up, and this cart broke down. Because they were seeing it. And then they asked, the small children. So, any other thoughts, any comments in this text anyone has?
Prabhu, Hare Kṛṣṇa. I just want to share something. So as Prabhupada was mentioning in the purport of the 7th, that for Krishna, he did that everything in a sweet way. I mean, from these two pastimes, we can see that, and he actually, I mean, compared that with Nishingadev and Bamandev. So Śrīmad Mahaprabhu was telling Srila Sanatana Goswami one verse from Caitanya-caritāmṛta. He was saying that Madhujya bhāgavata-sevayā braje koila porochar taha shuka beshero nandana. Means he is saying the sweetness is the highest form. It's not Aishwarya. We know that his power is, I mean, like Nishingadev fought with like Hiranyakashipu. That is his power. That is one of the Aishwarya form. But in Brajalila, he is saying that Madhujya bhāgavata-sevayā braje koila porachar taha shuko beshero nandan sthane sthane bhagavate bonni ache janaite taha shuni mate bhaktagan. He's saying that Mahaprabhu is telling Sanatana Goswami, the Madhujya is the bhagavata-sevayā, and Prabhupada here mentioning that we should, because Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam, he is the supreme person. So for when he is doing the pastimes, he doesn't need to show his Aishwarya. He is doing that in Madhurya. And you can see that the boys were telling that their parents that Krishna kick. But if you look at in material life, in our life, when the children, 3-month-old children, they're moving their legs, we become so happy. It's so, I mean, so soothing to see that the childs they are moving their legs. So that's the sweetness of Krishna. The demons are being killed just by his sweetness. So that verse in Caitanya-caritāmṛta chapter, Madhulila chapter 21, and verse number is 110. Hare Kṛṣṇa Prabhu, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Krishna is not lifting any weapons and sweetly destroying these demonic. Not destroying, but basically is like liberating them. Whether it's Putna, of course she got the position of a Dhatri nurse. And other demons, just think about great yogis, great devotees are craving for the touch of the holy, divine, transcendental lotus feet of the Lord. And that touch was given to Sakatasura. And Putana also, actually. When Krishna was holding Putana, when she was in the air, Krishna also touched her body with his transcendental legs. Krishna was really holding tight. So Putana was trying to get away, but Krishna was holding tight. And not only with the hands, but also touched the legs too. Okay, so it's already over time, so we'll pause here and continue with the next verse tomorrow. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Purana ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Thank you so much. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna.
much. Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.